Welcome back to Dive Twang. I'm Dave. So this is a part two, a follow up, and adding on to some stuff we were working on the other day. The part one video was called. The title was "You'd Be Amazed What You Can Do on Just Two Strings in Pentatonic," something like that. And the thumbnail said "Pentatonic two-string game." Okay, so that one's a really important companion for this video. You can hang out if you didn't see that one and check this out, see if it makes sense. But it's really going to make sense for many of you if you go back and watch that one and this one. So the game was we took the 5 shapes of minor pentatonic, okay, and we didn't, have a lesson just going through that. We made sort of an assumption that many were familiar with that or knew where to get that information, okay. And by the 5 shapes, I just mean that. Look familiar? The first shape, the second, and they're just shapes of playing that same neat note sequence, the river of minor pentatonic. In this case, in B minor, we're playing over a B minor, and starting on each scale tone, but playing the same 5 notes, right? So if you do that, it turns out, of course, there's going to be 5 positions, one starting on each of the 5 notes, and it kind of covers the whole neck. And it's a really cool way to just sort of learn your pentatonics and part of the basic vocabulary for guitarists. So the game was we took just the highest 2 strings and for each of those positions. Okay. And just real quick, I'll have several minutes for this backing track. The chords are just. Okay, so that D to the A, it's just a little turnaround to make it more of a groove, right? We're really just playing over B minor. So right before I started producing this, 2 things happened. I was working with somebody one-on-one, and they had seen the video, part 1, and they were, kind of already doing the next logical thing, right? Well, if I do it, if I can woodshed it on these 2 strings, move down and do the next 2 adjacent strings. Brilliant. Of course, that's natural curiosity, right? If it works up here, I just keep going, right? That's the right idea. The other thing that happened was I went back and I watched just the first couple of minutes of that part 1 to make sure that I was, adhering to, making a good connection between the 2 videos. And I noticed that I was really woodshedding in that intro, in that demonstration on that one, right? I wasn't soloing in the sense that I was mindfully doing all the things that I consider to be needed when really improvising, right? Fully. So what I was doing was I was just kind of trying to hold on, right? I was just like trying to get through the thing that I was telling you. And you could tell I was hunting and pecking and just kind of cramming a lot of stuff in there. And that's what we do. That's what we should be doing. That's what woodshedding, that stage of it is. So on each one of these things that we do on Dive Twang, there's usually like a mapping or methodology or a concept, right? And you just get in there and you just run into the walls and knock yourself out and just, whatever you got to do to get it sorted out. And then when I did this intro today, I said to myself, okay, let yourself go, put some bends in there, relax, don't try to cram it all of them into, 3 passes, of the chords and all that. And so that's what I did today. So we're going to keep going in that direction. Now, when you move down to the next 2 strings, you got to do some more woodshedding, right? See? right? I'm not going to cut that out and fix it, right? It's just that's what we do. We got it. We got to work it out, right? So I'm kind of rushing through it. I don't mean to be doing that as a demonstration. You don't need to copy what I just did, but what I just did was, in my own way, work through that game. The game is limit yourself to these two strings, the G and the B, and make a four note, right? Be able to just kind of go up and down like that. That might be what you do for a couple of days, right? That's great. Once you get that going, now you've got two adjacent string sets, and you can start to kind of, start really putting it together. And these two, the G and the B, I think actually offer more. There's more buried treasure that you're going to find using those than maybe even the higher ones, right? Because let's take this shape number one to begin with. And you just really got like almost the whole scale right there. Now, if I bend it up there, and this is what you want to be doing, but now we're adding more dynamic choices, right? Now, remember your two high strings? I want to go right, don't you? You want to go down to that root. So, hang out there, get loose, man. This is what you got to do at this point. It's like you've done the work. You worked it out on these two strings. You played the game on these two strings. Now here comes the payoff. So, hold your bends, use some vibrato, put some space, really make things more like you're singing your guitar solo and not just kind of running through all the positions, right? And then the really fun part and the part that sounds so cool is in terms of using this is changing positions, right? In ways that really sound musical and they build and they kind of aim towards, something higher or lower. To me, it's usually something higher when I'm putting a lot of them in sequence. So, for example, I could go up if I slide that. If I bend it, that's great. I reach that next note in the scale, the pitch, but I'm still in that same position. So if I want to make a position change out of that lick, I slide it instead of bending it. Okay, now if I do that, end up with my ring finger right there, I'm in this shape too. All right, see that? And you've got choices of where you can slide it, because I can also take myself to that position by jumping up and hitting the high string in the same manner. That's kind of cool. You'll see me do that a lot. If I bent it, you'll also see me bending it. That's fine, but I'm still in that position. If I want to make a position change, I change that bend to a slide, and that's what gets you there. Then you're up here. See what's happening? I'm doing that same routine to move to each one. But look at all the options you have. You can just go right up the G string too. So each one, when you slide it, it's going to be 1 degree higher on out of those notes from the pentatonic than the note that's in your box for that game on that position, right? That sounds confusing, but there's an option. There's 3 ways, and my landing points are those, right? You can go down. Sometimes I'll put it down to that 4th string in the same manner, right? So if you string a few of those together, you can make sort of a run out of it. Right? And so that's kind of cool. You just want to get from this position, to up to here. And remember, you think of it in octaves, you chunk it out like this. You climb that octave, but you do it in a way that has a bunch of slick sounding moves, and it feels right. And when you get up there, you're right in position again. Okay. So I use just these 3 fingers for most of it. Okay. So that way I'm just kind of doing the same mechanical thing. The shapes are different, between some of them, right? Some of them are actually similar to other shapes in different places, you'll discover once you really get in there and do the work on this. But does that make sense? When I use those 3 fingers, it doesn't matter what fingering you use to me, but you want to be able to do it in a typical fashion. That's what makes it connected. It makes it smooth. Right. And then you can, kind of hang out on certain parts of that and use repetition. And this is where you get a lot of your, familiar sounding licks. Now, I realized that, taking that from the woodshed to you know, the solo and having it stylized like that, is quite an undertaking. And remember, your destination sounds like you. Okay, it doesn't sound like me. Doesn't sound like Clapton. And it can be similar, and you can teach yourself in that way. But whatever it is, let it happen. Do the things that feel natural to your body and to your ear. And that's why I don't pick on the fingerings and stuff very much. Today I mentioned it because it could help you. But there is no right, wrong way to do any of this stuff, man. It's very important that you approach it that way. And woodshed it, play the game, and then let, open up the floodgates and let it out and see what happens. And you're going to have some fun. I just about guarantee it. And you're probably going to surprise yourself with what you're doing. And that's a really cool feeling. Let me know how it goes. I'll talk to you soon.